Hello and welcome along to episode 2 of this brand new Cricket 19 career mode series with me, Daniel. It's sort of a spin-off of the series we did last year when it was brand new to us on the channel. We're carrying on, but it's the international years. We've made it, it's our England Test debut, and in the first episode on Wednesday this week we managed to get our first bowling stint as an international at the Test arena. Now we're back with the bat in a Test arena for England. We are opening the batting for the England international side. It's against Ireland. It should on paper be a chance for us to get runs on the board, but of course that's easier said than done when you're nervous. So if you did miss that first episode, please click back in the eye above. I know you can see the Ireland score in the background, but of course there's no spoilers as to exactly how we got on in our bowling stint, so you can go and find out more and then pop back over when you're done. So the link to that one's in the eye above. There's also a link to all of my new FM20 content. We've had a massive week in both series. We're starting a Premier League season with Dorking Wanderers in our one club save, which again there's a link to episode 1 in the eye above. And then we also changed jobs in the head coach, our journeyman series, and that was on Thursday, so a massive episode in that one. And at 4:30 today we'll have our first game in charge of our new club and our first transfer window with our new director of football. But if you're looking forward to this one, please do put a thumbs up on the video. It does make such a difference. As I mentioned, because we're on a console game, the microphone quality is not quite as good, and of course there's no face cam. So apologies for that, and thank you for your continued support. As the channel does continue to grow, hopefully I can invest in making it better and better. But today I'm a little bit nervous. We're opening the batting with James Vince, probably not the first choice England international opener, so it's two players getting the sort of chance to try and stake their claim, and we've got to try and do our very best to make the most of it. It's a very good England side in terms of the batting lineup, the likes of Root, Buttler, Stokes, Bairstow, Moeen Ali all still there, and the bowling lineup a little bit inconsistent, a little bit young and a little bit inexperienced, which is why we conceded 220. So for those of you that haven't gone back yet, you will now get a spoiler. If we have a look at the scorecard for the first innings, we did take our first international wicket. Aside from that, there wasn't much good news. It was 1 for 40 off 11 overs, one of the most expensive economies in the England side, definitely the most expensive of the spinners, and we didn't manage to do much else in terms of threat. We conceded runs, only got the one maiden as well, so probably not our best spell of bowling, and we struggled a bit at the higher level, but we still managed to get that wicket, and that is absolutely crucial. And now we go into bat. It's our first innings with England. If you want to keep up to date with this series, subscribe down below and turn your notifications on. You'll get alerts as daily content releases on the channel. Of course, FM20 stories taking centre stage, and then on Wednesday and Saturday at 1 o'clock, this series will continue. So let's get into it with the bat and see if we can put a few runs on the board. Here we go then. It's our first delivery against the paceman Kenny, who we were bowling at the end of the last innings. Let's just get this out the way. Oh, what a shot. I was just going to say, let's get rid of the nerves, but he bowled us a short one beyond leg stump and we were able to just pull it away. It was such an easy delivery. We couldn't have asked for a juicier one for our first ball as a test batsman for England. Swiped away for 4, nonchalant strike, and we are off the board as an international, and I feel far more relaxed. What we'll try and do is show some highlights from this, but also talk about some of the other objectives as well. Of course, those of you who were following before will remember exactly what the objective was at the start of this career. He's just bowling on leg stump. We've got that one away as well. Might not quite reach the boundary, but definitely going to be 2, and probably going to be 3 as well. So that is absolutely fantastic. It's an easy 3, and we just stroll back for the 3rd. But of course, the objective at the start of this, as James Vince faces his first ball, is that we wanted to emulate Alistair Cook. We're a left-handed opener. We want to make sure we can captain England, we can lead them to Ashes glory. We of course had our go at an Ashes test last year, and this is another opportunity. I don't know if we can sneak one there. We can. So for me, who's normally quite a tentative batsman, even at county level my strike rate's about 70 or 80. And here we're absolutely flying off the mark. But a great first 3 deliveries for us, and with nearly 3 overs on the board. James Vince is in double figures as well, and that's probably our next step too. But they keep bowling outside leg, and we've managed to get another 4 here. We've absolutely thundered that to the boundary. But what a first 3 overs. England 22 without loss, and Ireland starting to look a little bit of a part-time side here. 12 on the board off just 4 deliveries, but this is where it starts to get harder normally. Just that perfect line as they come around the wicket. And once we start facing it outside off stump, that's generally been my kryptonite, both against spin and pace, in any cricket series we've done on this channel. Of course, I thank you for your support with the older ones as well, and your incredible support with the first one of this series. Last year, obviously going back now, you see how different the content was. I really didn't know how to produce it, and it almost sounded like I was trying to broadcast to 30,000 people. But as it happens, we're going for a bit more of a homely feel this time. Short ball as we get out the way, and this is much more the test challenge we were expecting. A great line and length from Kenny this time, and why didn't he start around the wicket at the first ball? But over he comes. We're halfway through the 5th over. We're trying to get that one we can get away, and there it is, but it's straight to the fielder, and we have to cancel that run immediately. But hang on, it's an overthrow. So finally we get one away to a fielder. We weren't going to get a run, and they've thrown it for 4 overthrows. We didn't have to run, didn't use any energy, and we still move on to 16. That's the bit of luck we were hoping for, and shows the amateur side of Ireland, I'm afraid. Another one on the stumps. We've got around that. Just swung it away and it beat the outside edge, and that's the first warning sign for us too. But as I was saying, this type of content's going to be very different. It's much more relaxed. I feel much more natural now, as has been the case the last couple of months with FM as well. I just feel like I've found my style. It's a lot more comfortable, so let me know what you think as well. And while we're going through this over, as we're playing defensively, we've got to deal with a change of field, and we're coming back a few balls later as Vince has moved on to 18. It's been a very good start for England. A quick reminder that our new live stream series will start every Tuesday at 10 o'clock from this coming week. It's the Burnley Youth Academy Challenge, continuing with the side we had in the head coach. And I really can't wait for that. I've loved doing live streams on the channel so far. I've been able to interact with you guys, really get you involved in the series, and just get to know you all a bit better. You've been brilliant in supporting my content, and I love doing that. We're on to 18 off 11 deliveries here, and he's coming back over the wicket for some reason, and that means we're able to get balls away again. We've just plugged the gap between the two fielders here, and again it's not quite going to reach the boundary, but it is going to be another really comfortable 3. So what that means is England move on to 40 without loss, and we have got ourselves up into the 20s. Continuing Kenny over the wicket. He's very persistent with this, despite the fact it's conceding in runs, and this one's going to be 2 or 3 again. Is it going to creep to the boundary? It might, you know. Probably not the cleanest shot we hit in this over, but it's gone for 4. And we are absolutely flying through the runs here. 25 off 13, a strike rate of nearly 200. And we haven't done this in county level for some time. So to do it at international level as we smash another 4 is absolutely remarkable. What a dream start this has been. England past 50, and myself and James Vince are causing havoc with our half-century partnership. Just as I thought they were going to let us fly along to a half-century, they've brought in the spinner around the wicket, all of the things we hate. Oh, we've edged the first one. Tried to go leg side, it's gone straight to the fielder. And the timing's not good, and we're starting to look like we're going to struggle here. There's an easy single to the leg side if we do get any we can get away. And outside off, I think we just have to leave it. That's better. Has it beaten the fielder in the deep? No, it's just going to be 1. He's slid and he's prevented the second. Really good fielding. But that takes us, I believe, into the 30s. It does. 30 off 16. James Vince just defends the rest of the over. No need for him to get hasty, as that one's outside off. A much better line and length from the new pace bowler who's in at the other end. And we're just having to play a bit more cautiously now. There's a fielder in a good position in the leg side. Probably our favourite area to play. And unless we get one on the stumps, we're just going to get a bit more defensive now. So at this point we'll probably have to skip to highlights, as it looks like not every shot's going to be one now. In comes Craig again, 3rd ball of the over. We're just waiting for one on the stumps. That one a little bit closer, but it still had a bit too much bounce, still had a bit too much on it, and we didn't want to take the gamble there. Final ball of the over, the 10th over. It's been a really good one from Craig. He's really slowed us down, but that one's on the stumps, and we should nick a single here. Oh, we might have to race through. Thankfully the throw wasn't great, it wasn't powerful, but it probably wasn't a run if we're being honest. We do sneak one just to finish the over. We don't want to let them get maidens in early, and now we stay straight on strike to face the spinner. This one's at the stumps so we can get it away. Just a single, they've protected that leg side boundary, and James Vince can deal with the rest of the over. Well, the opening bowler Kenny's back into the attack. Very much been the expensive one for Ireland, and again here has a very tight field with a lot of spaces on the leg side. But he starts around the wicket and his line's much better, so it's outside off and we were forced to defend. Let's see if the rest of the over continues that way. Here comes the second one, around the wicket. Closer to the stumps, we get it away. I'm not sure it's got enough to reach the boundary, but it should be a definite 2. Probably not good enough for a 3rd. No, 2 runs. Very good, we're edging towards that half century, and although the run rate's just started to slow down a bit now, we're still going at well over 1 a ball because of that explosive start. Kenny's put an extra man out on the leg side to deal with it. He's bowled wide outside off, and there's no point us taking gambles. When we get to a century or we get really confident, we can then start playing the cover drive, not against the spinners but against the seamers in particular. We don't mind cutting away once some of the slips are gone, but of course in Test cricket that doesn't often happen. So we're just having to defend outside off at the moment, and we'll wait for the right ball to take the opportunity. But either way, a brilliant start to our Test career, and surely England won't be dropping us after this. Here comes Kenny, penultimate ball of the over. Oh, that was a bit closer than I thought. He caught me out with the in-swinger, but it just missed the stump by a couple of whiskers. Final ball of the over. He's taken the man out on the leg side, so I'm hoping he'll bowl it a bit straighter. And he does. He tried to tempt us into it, and we've nailed it beautifully. I think this one's going to reach the boundary. We're still running just in case, but it's 4. England are absolutely flying, and we had another boundary, and we are edging very close now to a half century here with England. 38 of 29 deliveries, England 70 without loss. And here comes Kenny for the first ball of his next over. Wide outside off, and we just defend and see it through to the keeper. Let's see if the defensive pattern continues. Second ball for Kenny. This one straight at the stumps. There's space down at mid-on, and we've gone for a slightly different shot now. We're just starting to open up and feel more confident. 2 more runs, another over where we're not going to be producing a maiden for the bowler. And we are edging to 40 and just 10 away from that half century on Test debut. He's still going around the wicket though, so we've got to be careful. Oh, he's bowled us clean. Oh, we defended one outside off. What a stupid decision. We could have just hooked it away, and that one just didn't bounce. All the others went flying, and that one just crashed into the stump. And after a brilliant start, we are out stupidly for 40, and the concentration is always the key at Test level. A brilliant start, we flew out the traps, but we're out for 40 off 32 deliveries. Let's see how the rest of the side get on, and if we have a lead at the end of the first innings. We're back as day 3 is starting to take shape now. Ireland are into bat again, and you can see we've been selected to bowl. So we'll go and have a look at where the match stands at the moment. But for us, a pretty decent first innings, although a very disappointing way for it to end. Bowled by Kenny for 40 off 32 balls. We flew out the traps, we scored runs quickly, probably even more quickly than we were at county level. And to be fair, some of the county sides have better ratings than Ireland. But then we got bowled by a silly delivery just 10 short of a debut half century. But either way, hopefully not enough to put the selectors off. Although James Vince, who we're probably competing with for the spare space, went on to get a century, 101 before he was bowled LBW. Joe Root got a 50, Ben Folkes got 100, although Butler, Stokes, Bairstow and Ali all struggled for scores, and George Rhodes, one of the bowlers, managing to put 49 on as well. That got England 418, a massive lead of nearly 200, and now Ireland, if we go and have a look, 57 for 2. We've been brought into bowl at Pittman and Greer. Greer's someone we didn't face in the first innings. McDonough already gone. That was our first scalp as an international bowler. And we've now got to do the work again to make sure we're undroppable for the next match. But if you did enjoy that first batting innings as a Test batsman with England, please do put a thumbs up on the video. It does make such a difference. I really do appreciate your support with the return this week. Let me know in the comments what you thought of our first innings, whether it will be enough to keep us in the side, or do you think that's going to be an average score against poor opposition and it won't count for much. Of course, as it stands, it doesn't look like we'll get much of a second innings. If we do, and we're chasing 50, 60, whatever it is, we've just got to make sure we're not out. Keep that average up, and hopefully that will please the selectors. But let me know in the comments what you think. What a silly way to get out, I know. But we were flying out the traps, the strike rate was incredible. And that's something that we probably won't see repeated later on. As I mentioned earlier, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for 2 episodes a week from this series, every Wednesday and Saturday at 1 PM. There's also daily FM20 content on the channel, including later today our first game at a new club in the head coach, and my stadium review series returns tomorrow with a co-host, where we'll be talking about the hardest one of the series, which is Crawley Town. The visit to the Broadfield Stadium, now the People's Pension Stadium, a ground we know well from our Dorking Wanderers series this year. We'll be talking about our experience and visit there in 2010. Finally, as I mentioned during this innings, The live stream series from FM20 will start next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. It will be every week, will be live. So if you want to come along just to get to know me better, have a bit of a chat, get involved with the rest of the community, please do come and say hello. It really is much appreciated. I've really enjoyed the last 2 or 3 I've done. You've been really great getting involved and we've had a lovely time. So hopefully we can do the same again. So if you are available on Tuesday morning at 10, then just pop along. We'll be live for a couple of hours each week. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your support for the return of Cricket 19. I really do appreciate it. If you want to make sure you stay up to date, then subscribe down below for all the content. And hopefully I'll see you next time, as we'll be back after this innings and hopefully we'll get a chance to bat again. If not, we'll be back for our next match.